All stories on this channel are original content, fully protected by copyright and intellectual property laws. Any unauthorized copying, re-uploading, narration, or use of these stories will be considered copyright infringement and may lead to serious legal consequences. These stories are exclusively owned by this channel. Respect the rights or face legal action. This story was sent to me by one of my subscribers, Emma R., and I wanted to share it on the channel. My encounters with this individual, who I'll call Ben, began in November 2024 at school. He was a friend of one of my friends named Tom, and eventually we became part of the same friend group. I had always found Ben to be a bit creepy, which seemed to be the general opinion most students had about him. However, once we began socializing regularly, I started to feel bad for judging him too quickly. That was until we were added to a WhatsApp group chat, and that's when things started to take a turn. At first, it was the constant stream of disturbing images that he would send, often involving very graphic and grotesque content. I'm still not sure if those images were real or fake, but they made me extremely uncomfortable. Eventually, I asked him to stop. He just laughed and told me to take a joke and stop being a puss. After that, his messages became darker. He started talking about harming animals and even shared twisted fantasies involving people I knew. I wasn't sure if Ben was just some edgy kid trying to shock people, but something about him genuinely felt wrong. Then one Saturday, while I was Christmas shopping alone in town, I noticed Ben standing down the road, staring directly at me. I waved awkwardly, but he didn't respond. He just stared, motionless, before walking casually down a side street. For the rest of that trip, every time I turned around, I saw him again, standing somewhere in the distance, always staring. I finally gave up shopping and went home. Frustrated, I texted him about it, but he claimed he had no idea what I was talking about. A few days later at school, Ben and another friend, Jack, convinced me to come with them to the forest behind the school, along with another guy named Zach. It was stupid, I know, but I was bored and went along anyway. As we walked deeper into the forest, Ben's behavior grew weirder. He was laughing to himself and kept repeating, "Closer, let's get closer." Zach and I exchanged uneasy looks. It didn't feel right. We both decided to turn back. Ben seemed angry when he and Jack returned a few minutes later. When we asked what they wanted to do out there, Ben said he had planned to set a fire and show us something. After that day, I distanced myself from him completely. I left the group chat, though I was eventually re-added. During my time away, something happened. Ben attacked Tom with a homemade blade at school. He cut Tom near the wrist, bad enough that the school had to call an ambulance. Ben was expelled afterward, but no legal action was taken. It's been about a month since then. I was added back to the group chat again, only to see that Ben had been sending graphic photos of self-harm and writing about how much he hated his family, blaming them for everything wrong in his life. His messages are more disturbing than ever, and honestly, I can't shake the feeling that he's dangerous. Maybe I'm paranoid, but sometimes I worry that Ben knows where I live, and that he's not far away. Thank you to Emma R. for sending this terrifying story. If you have a story, send it in and it might be featured next.
This story was sent to me by one of my subscribers, Olivia S., and I wanted to share it on the channel. I've always been a little awkward and shy, which makes making friends difficult for me. So in late 2019 to early 2020, I decided to join my sixth form's D&D club. I instantly loved it. What made it even better was meeting a lovely girl there, who I'll call May. It was one of those new friendships where you just want to spend all your time together. So when May asked me to join her D&D party, I was thrilled. She was a little awkward at first, just like me, but she was sweet and understanding. We shared a lot of nerdy interests and clicked quickly, or at least I thought we did. The first time we hung out alone was more uncomfortable than I expected. We had only been friends for a couple of weeks, so some awkwardness made sense. But it was more than that. May acted strange when we were alone. She would suddenly ignore me for no reason, make bizarre jokes but deliver them completely seriously, and leave long, uncomfortable pauses before laughing. It wasn't enough to scare me off at that point. I figured maybe once she got used to me, she'd mellow out, but I was wrong. When I officially left school for personal reasons, May's behavior became intense. She started asking to meet up every day or every other day, even though I had started working full-time and barely had free time. I thought she'd understand. She didn't. She began demanding proof of how busy I was, asking me to send photos of my calendar. Even when she saw it was packed, she'd still try to manipulate me into meeting up. She sent messages like, "I love you, but you're so difficult to meet up with," and told me she was crying because she couldn't see me. These conversations happened multiple times a week, and it started creeping me out. We had only known each other for about 2 to 3 months. We'd met alone 5 or 6 times and saw each other daily at school before I left. Her possessiveness grew worse, and my discomfort grew with it. I began pulling away for my own sanity. But underneath it all, I still wanted to be her friend, at least until she came to my house for the first time. May showed up much later than agreed, which annoyed me a little, since she knew I had work the next day, but I brushed it off. My parents' house is big and nice, with a gym, a hot tub, and a beautiful garden. Friends usually make casual comments like, "Wow, your house is so nice," which never bothers me. But May wouldn't stop. She commented on the house constantly, and then it turned into passive-aggressive remarks. She accused my parents of flaunting their wealth, and even said they made their money by taking advantage of vulnerable children. I had never discussed my family's money with her. Her fixation was unsettling. Then she got even stranger. She asked to cuddle and spoon me, told me I couldn't escape, questioned if I was really happy with my boyfriend, and made jokes at my expense that didn't feel like jokes at all. I was uneasy, and my parents noticed it too. After that day, I told her I was too busy to hang out and asked her to stop asking. She didn't. She started making jokes about showing up at my house uninvited. She even changed her jogging route so she'd pass by my parents' house every day. Then she messaged my boyfriend out of nowhere. I had never given her his name or social media, and I had barely talked about my relationship with her. She told him things like, "You need my permission to date because I'm her best friend," and "You have to like me because I'm her best friend." The thing is, we weren't even close to best friends. She spammed my phone with messages when I barely responded twice a month. When my boyfriend showed me a screenshot of their conversation, I was furious. It was mostly her talking, and then she suddenly confessed she loved him. When I confronted her, she turned it around on me, saying, "I was talking to your boyfriend and he knew about me. You talked about me without my consent." Heartbroken. It was surreal. I told her the truth. I had only mentioned she was a friend from school and that she made me uncomfortable. After that, she left for university, and the silence was a relief. The anxiety faded, and I finally felt free. But when she came home for Christmas, everything started again. I was going through a rough time, so my mom and I went away for a few days. I didn't respond to May for 3 days, and she lost it. She spammed every platform: Instagram, Snapchat, Discord, texts, everything. At first, her messages were friendly. Then they turned angry. She had already joked about finding my new address, and I believed she might actually do it. Her obsession scared me. So I finally snapped. I told her that her behavior was creepy, that she had no boundaries, and that I was terrified of her threats, even if she claimed they were jokes. I told her I didn't want to see her again and to stop contacting me. I know I could have been gentler, but kindness never worked with her. Every time I tried to explain, she'd get apologetic, then angry, then manipulative. She'd guilt-trip me, then say she loved me. I was exhausted. I truly did want to be her friend, but her obsessive behavior pushed me away. I hope she gets the help she needs. But creepy stalker friend, you're definitely not my cup of tea. Please stay far away from me. Thank you to Olivia S. for sending in this chilling story. If you have a story, send it in and it might be featured next.